Evening, folks. We're going to call the meeting to order. It's the Easton Housing Authority's January regularly scheduled meeting. Roll call, Commissioner Tebow.
Here.
Commissioner Chris Anchidi.
Here.
Commissioner Widdup.
Here.
Commissioner Burrows.
Here.
And Commissioner Dennis Sheedy is here. Agenda item number 1. I should make note that Executive Director Kathy Steiger is here and we're being recorded by ECAT. Agenda item number 1, the December warrant in the amount of $153,428.70.
I'll make a motion that we approve the December warrant, December 2022, for $153,428.70.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Chris Anchidi, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any discussion?
All set
Good?
then?
Yeah, I'm good.
Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 2, the minutes of the December 13th, 2022 meeting.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes of December 13th, 2022. Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Chris Anchidi, a second by Commissioner Widdup. Any discussion?
Yes, on the third item under October 2022 financials, misspelled the accountant. It's down as Mills or Mills, it should be Mills.
Thank you.
Yep. And make sure we're crediting our accountants. That's the only thing I have.
Any other concerns or corrections? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 3, the November 2022 financial statements.
I'll make a motion we accept and place on file the financial statement. When is it? December? Yeah.
November.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Burrows, a second by Commissioner Chris Anchidi. Kathy, anything you want to point out to us?
Our reserves are at 99.8%, so we're still holding our own there. The budget actually looks good, where the rents are up. We're underrunning most of the maintenance, labor, supplies, contract costs. We're staying right on target. And the only other, obviously the non-routine expenses are a little high, but part of that is because of the truck and the plow.
Overall, though, you're hitting all your numbers.
Yes.
You're doing very well.
Yep.
Kind of jealous.
I'll see if I can't increase the rent a little more.
Well, this time when I go up there, I'll get those big raises.
Yeah. Yeah, but we only do, we don't capture it at once, we do it at resort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But they're all gonna go up.
Together. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 4, budget revision. Fiscal year ending 3/31/23, due to line item 4130.
That is the legal line item. When we did the budget, if you remember correctly, we didn't have an amount from DHCD. And so we estimated it at $4,000 when it turned out that they gave us $6,000. And that meant that there was more than a 10% increase on the line item, so we had to file a budget revision.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget revision.
I will second that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Tebow, a second by Commissioner Chris Anchidi. So they forgot about you, now you gotta submit to tell them.
I'm just, I mean, I have no problems submitting it other than it's extra work everybody has to do.
Right.
But I thought if all your 4,000 accounts did not go over 10%, you were fine. That one line item want to put you into.
I think it's because it was 50, it was a 50% change in
Yeah.
according to that.
But I think it's down
Right.
here. That's the line that's the one that, but I'm, again, this is sort of belt and suspenders, I guess, so we don't get ourselves, how did they notify you?
I don't think I've
about
ever heard that expression.
belt and suspenders? No? Double, make sure.
I actually didn't realize it either. Dan Robillard was the one that said, hey, you need to file a budget.
Okay.
And I said, okay, well, he knows better, that's what we pay him for, so.
And he's doing the work other than the input. Does he do the
Right.
input or do you do it?
No, I do it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And how were you notified about the 6,000?
They sent us a letter well after the fact. I think I put it in one of the board packets a while ago.
Yeah, we knew about it.
Yeah,
They did.
yeah, they finally did after me, sending several emails to Sarah
I remember
asking, they
that.
finally came out with it.
I remember that now, yes.
All right, need everybody to sign, print, and date, please. I know, sorry.
Any other questions or concerns regarding the budget revision? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 5, the Formula Funding Award for fiscal year 2026 in the amount of $248,118.
How is that compared to the past, Kathy?
It's probably about $1,000 more than the past one we had,
We all know it changes every year anyways.
yeah.
$1,000, geez, could they be so generous?
Compared to the last one. And then, yeah, it's just an FYI that,
Yeah, well, it's 248,000. Better than what you used to get.
Yeah, no,
true, that is true.
I'd like to point out that, based on what the letter talks about, DHCD talks about relative to formula funding, the total award is $55 million distributed over the 230 local housing authorities in Massachusetts. And when I figured out, divided the 55 million by 230, it comes to 239, 130 and some change, so we're actually a little bit above, for whatever reason.
we're a little bit bigger than most housing authorities.
Yeah. I think they go by unit size. Yeah.
It's formula funding based upon the
And your
condition of your,
FCI.
Yeah, I know the FCI, but a lot of it's how many units you have. Bigger agencies get more money.
We were just talking today at Mass Narrow about looking for an $8 billion bond. Let's see if that happens. Pretty interesting.
Do we need a motion on this?
No, it's more of an FYI.
It's just correspondence.
Yeah.
Any other questions or concerns regarding the 2026 fiscal year formula funding?
But I do want to just make a comment, because we do get critical, but this is a commitment from the Commonwealth to public housing that wasn't there 10 years ago, so, and it has been increasing, so, and
Right.
it has made a difference, although it may substantially, the backlog is bigger than the number, it's still something.
And it's been consistent.
Yeah,
You can plan.
there's
Yes.
been a big improvement. Was
Yes.
it the DiNucci report when I first started on the Easton board? I think he
cars?
came up with,
Is that one of the cars? Well, yeah.
Yeah, I
That
think he
depended if they
can-
liked you or not.
I want to say it was like 4.6 million we needed to bring the authority up to par.
Oh, with the wastewater treatment, is that?
With that, the
Yeah.
condition of the units, the roofs, the sidings, I mean, a lot of work has been done
Oh,
in the
absolutely.
last 10 years or so
Yes.
that
Yes, for
the
sure.
authorities in overall better physical shape, that's for sure,
Absolutely.
than it was.
The big thing was the wastewater treatment plant. I remember
Yeah.
a lot of research was done on that.
I'm sure.
And then the other big thing that we worked on was the electric, solar.
The net
To save
metering.
on our
that was-
electric, net
yes.
metering, thank you.
Yes, yep.
That's the term. Getting that net metering in.
Yeah, that was a lot of work too
Budget a
for
lot, too.
agencies.
So between that and CPC money and Claire Cronin, and you've had an
Yes.
infusion over the years of cash that you
We have.
never had, so that's a good thing. All right, moving on to agenda item number 6, fish project number 088075, Elise Circle Community Room Update.
I put that in there, that was from last week's meeting. We had another meeting this week. We're trying very hard to get this community room opened. The building inspector wouldn't pass it last time because there were electrical that wasn't done. There were some wires and plates that weren't put in. That being said, we had a meeting this week, come to find out that the water had not been turned on yet to the machines, because we were going to call the building inspector and ask him if he could come in and grant us occupancy based on the fact that the plates were now covered, but the plumbing wasn't on, so we were waiting on their plumber to come in. We're having weekly meetings now to get this done. Plumbing was done today, this morning, completed, and now they're having issues getting 2 of the electric door openers to work. 1 works, 2 don't. So we were going to call the building inspector and see if he would still grant us occupancy based on that. But I don't know that he's going to, because he needs electrical, he needs plumbing. They have to come in and do the inspections before they'll allow us to let anybody in.
Who's responsible for the doors?
DDC.
They didn't sub it out.
They didn't sub it out, which is part of the issue. You really need an electric door person that knows what they're doing with those. So, that being said, the community looked amazing. It really looks really nice. They did a good job, and I'm hoping to get it opened very soon.
Are they in liquidated damages?
What do you mean?
So their Gantt chart here has them completing their work back in October. And so now so liquidated damages is a penalty for being late on your work.
I don't know that that's even been discussed. A lot of the issue, we're waiting for those federal Pacific panel to come in.
Yeah, I mean, there are reasons why they can
Yeah.
be late. I just didn't know, it sounded like
It
some of
has
them.
not been discussed.
They have to put in a change order if they're beyond if they need an extension of time. And that would have to come before us to approve.
That is correct. The architect truthfully has dropped the ball a little on this, but
They'll be
now
asking for a change order.
Absolutely.
And I'll be very,
Non-compliant?
they'll have to make a good argument.
Yeah. Sean Keating's been coming out too. He's our construction advisor, DHC. He's been coming weekly to the meetings. We just started, and we have another one scheduled for next week, so. Yeah.
I have a question.
Certainly.
The item number 4.10 by your contractor, DDC, by the contractor, DDC, mentions that the new connections for the old dryers are tripping the circuit breakers.
Yes.
Has that been corrected?
Yes, it has. Yep.
What was involved in that correction?
I have no idea. That was the electrician had to come out. For whatever reason, it kept tripping the new breaker. I don't know if it had to do with the amps, the plug. I'm not exactly sure.
So there is an electrician on the job.
Yeah, when he comes in to show up. That was part of the issue. And then the door openers were working, now they're not working. We have one that works. But yesterday when we were up there again, we went to turn on the sinks to see if, and the water hadn't even been turned on.
So just to clarify again, the electrician is not a subcontractor, but an employee of DDC?
No, he's a sub.
Oh,
The
he's a-
electrician is a sub, the plumber is a sub. The door openers are being installed by DDC. I don't believe they need an electrician, it's just
Okay.
getting them to work. That's a different, yeah.
It's usually just a plug, right? You put the door in and there's a plug there and you plug it in.
Let's hope it's not mice eating wires or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, they would have
Yeah,
done
they would have
that,
seen that,
honestly.
yeah. They would have known that. I mean, there's nothing in there. I mean, the room does look really nice. I don't know what's going on with that. hopefully they'll resolve it soon. I know Dan, when I spoke to him, the supervisor, maintenance super, he was gonna call the building inspector and see if we could get him to at least come out and grant us occupancy. The bathroom's not done. They're still waiting on the solid surface for the walls. That being said, one bathroom is done. It's a handicap bathroom that is not finished, which we can lock and not let anybody in until it's completed. That shouldn't delay the occupancy.
I have to say, if I was the building inspector, I wouldn't approve it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Well, we want him to, and,
Handicap
you know-
bathroom, in an elderly housing project, if a handicap bathroom is not working.
Yeah, I'm not sure you
But it
can.
never
Get my
had,
rubber
yeah.
stamp.
I'm not
But it
sure
never
you can
had one.
either.
It never had one to begin with.
But now you do.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
now you
better.
do, because you, once you invest so much money, you go over ADA compliance. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, don't be surprised if he says
Okay.
no.
I
Well,
do
hoping.
want to say one other thing, though, again, because it's a public meeting. This is not at all unique to the Easton
No.
Housing Authority.
No.
This is an issue that is happening across the Commonwealth. There are not enough architects, there are not enough workers, the supplies are delayed.
Yes.
So it's a frustrating thing for residents, it's a frustrating thing for construction oversight, it's frustrating thing for administration. So it is,
There's hundreds of factors that can interfere. I was remembering the wastewater treatment plant installation, we had a bad winter, and they, that interfered, so that delayed that project. There's so many
yeah. But
conditions.
I do want to make sure that this is, it's all over. Very, very frustrating.
Yeah, it's not
Very.
just here.
I had the conversation regarding a community room renovation at 4 o'clock today with the tenant president of one of our places because it's taken so long. But we haven't started yet,
Oh, boy.
so we'll see. But it's taken forever for the architect to get his work done.
I could fill your ears, but I won't stop.
Yeah, so this is more for the public's consumption. It's not unique to, it's not a one-up here in the Easton Housing Authority.
And this isn't our only mod job going on right now. We're having issues with the others as well, so
But
it's crazy. Yeah.
I don't think we need any.
No, I know it was discussed at the last meeting, so I just wanted to put that in so the board
Please.
knew that we're trying to
We're-
get this moving.
Thank you.
Yeah.
On the next agenda item, there's a piece of information that I'll interject that refers back to this agenda item that we're just leaving.
All right, then, we'll move on to agenda item number 7, fish project number 088082, Federal Pacific Panel Work Execution Approval.
We didn't do a motion on agenda item number 6. Did we need one?
No, I
No.
thought we
No,
decided
it's
on
just
this
on
one.
Yeah.
And do we need one on this one?
This one looks like we do.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the fiche number 088082, RPA Targeted Award, Easton Federal Pacific Panel and Fire Alarm System combined
One second. yeah.
project.
We have a motion by Commissioner Woodruff, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Discussion?
I'll start right off by saying I was very interested in reading this multi-page report, and I was appreciated the fact that it gave facts about the years, how many dwelling units we have, and what years they were completed. And in Elise Circle, a group of 64 units, two-story buildings, I'm not sure how many buildings that is, but 64 units, was completed in 1969. And then another group, in Parker Terrace, there was 2 or 3 phases. 1984 was when that one was completed. So we've got old buildings here. And I just wanted to point that out.
Once again,
Because it was
that's
mentioned
the way
earlier.
all the housing authorities are. All the buildings are old and have not been in set for a long time and were not properly maintained. So So everybody's playing catch up.
Right. A lot of the other 230 housing authorities are experiencing the same pains.
But it does reflect that these panels go back to 1969, and
So this is a job to replace panels that could be potentially dangerous to our residents, correct?
Correct. We have done some
And the estimated cost is $165,000
currently.
currently.
We've done some panel replacements at Elise Circle in units already. Those have been completed. My understanding, it's the master panel that now needs to be done as well there. And this is just under study. Shan from DHCD has been out to look at it. This was the targeted award funding for the Federal Pacific panels, strictly.
Now, we usually don't see it at this phase, do we?
Yeah, truthfully, I have never seen them ask for the signature page on a scope, a work order scope.
And it says payment, I don't know, the whole thing is different looking.
Right, but it asks for approval from the board to proceed. Scope of services and signature page. And they said,
Are we, the funding, is the funding coming from our reserves?
No, it's coming from APA.
it's up, yeah. So it's the first time I'd seen the notice.
They've changed things up a bit.
Is there a new PHN that came out that we haven't seen? There's a lot of those
Actually, I
coming
haven't
out.
seen a PHN in a while.
Look at there.
No, because
I haven't been getting the words on them.
administration.
What did you say, Christiane?
It's a new administration, so everything goes haywire.
So what we're saying is...
Outgoing, incoming,
Oh, yeah, who's going to have a job, who's not going to?
yeah.
So what we're saying is that the work order has been issued, and therefore we think that it should move forward, that they should give it to an architect to...
That is my understanding. It can't hurt to say, hey, let's go forward with this.
As opposed to if we said no, we would be saying, leave our dangerous fire panels in there, and we don't want your money to fix it.
Maybe the amount is tied into this. Is this an old amount? 'Cause
No.
Just an estimate.
Yeah, it's just the
And I
estimate.
can tell you,
Who's
it
the
can
source
be
of that?
wildly wrong.
That's why who's the source of this estimate?
Wild, yeah.
DHCD, the house doctors, are the
Yeah,
source
I'm
of
not sure
the...
what we're approving, because there is no architect here, or engineer, there is no contract.
to move forward. Maybe
So we're
because it's
authorizing you to move forward,
Thank you.
Kathy.
And what do we know about this? Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we authorize.
we know they're dangerous, so of course we would authorize it.
Obviously.
So why ask?
I don't really know.
And we'll,
And if you go into Cap Hub, you have to go in and approve it with a board vote.
Might just be the APA money.
Yeah, on this one.
Might
This
be
is
the APA money because it's federal.
Okay, all right.
maybe, because this is the first time I've seen, and truthfully, it came across and we've been so crazy, I just skimmed it and went, oh, okay, well,
Yeah, that's it, right here. So we,
Yeah.
Yeah, and witness her of the authority.
Yep.
Yep. It could be because it's APA and it's
Maybe.
federal. I think, who knows?
and it seems to me we've done this once before, is, okay, let's take this first baby step and cross the next bridge when we come to it. I think we've done that before, haven't we?
we would usually get it after bidding. They
Right.
bid it out, comes in, it's going to be $165,000.
Right.
And the contract is brought to
We
us.
get to
But
see the
this one
different
does
estimates.
very clearly say that the Easton Housing Authority has to approve it.
and again, maybe it is because it's federal.
All right, so I will make a motion that we approve work order.
Pam already made a motion,
okay.
Dawn seconded it.
All right, well, we're good.
Any further?
Well, I'm just wondering, it says that you're going to pay the designer. On our approval, the design is going to be paid, so we're going to move money forward.
There is
The local housing authority shall pay the designer upon receipt of DHCD.
Yeah, it's the funding that they give us.
Okay, so we approve it, then DHCD has to approve it, and then that
Correct.
$18,950 has to be paid.
Okay.
Good. Thank you, Don. Sharp eye. Okay,
Any other discussion? No?
But there isn't a design, we're not paying
No.
anything yet.
Not yet.
discussion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed?
Question mark?
That's unanimous. All right, agenda item number 8, management agreement with the Taunton Housing Authority. This is for discussion only, and it's in regards to the Section 8 program only.
Correct.
Kathy?
As the board is aware, we have been without a reliable, constant Section 8 person in the office. We've had consultants coming in on weekends. I've been coming in, trying to keep it afloat, and it was getting to be a bit cumbersome. We've gone through 3 people so far that I've hired. The job is just too much for them. The last one we had total faith in, and that didn't work out either, and she is no longer with us. They've all lasted about 3 weeks. And that being said, the authority, based on the size of the program, can't pay the salaries that are out there, and they can't get the help. So it occurred to me in the middle of the night, I don't want to give the program up, but maybe if I could work with another agency and borrow some of their staff, a larger agency. I know Taunton Housing has a good-sized Section 8 program. I talked to our fee accountant about it as well, and what that would look like. And he said, if you do a management agreement, you could do that. The Housing Authority would maintain control of their program. It would be a management agreement, not them taking your program from you, where you do the 60-40 or the 50-50 split on the admin fees. That being said, I did call Colleen Doherty, of the Taunton Housing Authority, the director, very well-respected director in the industry, who runs a few agencies and has gone through this before, and she was more than happy to assist us in this endeavor, and came out to meet with myself and Dawn yesterday and brought 2 of her staff members, and we discussed it. We don't have an agreement yet. She could put that together. She's done this before. I have not. And ultimately what would happen is, we initially had said to her, well, if we gave an annual fee of $54,000 a year to run the program, would that be acceptable? And she said, let me run this by her staff. And she came back to us saying, well, we could do it for $52,000 a year. The position would pay, if I could find somebody to hire, would pay $55,000 a year. This makes
Plus benefits.
plus benefits perfect sense. It costs us less. We're not paying retirement, we're not paying health insurance, we're not paying dental, and there's no benefits involved in this.
And they're experienced.
And they are an experienced, large group that run the program. We would still do CMAP, we would still file our VMS. We are in the process of also looking at changing software, so we'd be on the same system. That being said,
Does your
fee accountant does that,
Yeah.
yes. Somebody else does PIC, but with the new software, let me backtrack. We've been having tremendous trouble with the new software that PHA Net has done in the tenant portal. It's created all sorts of havoc on top of the HAPs and everything else. We're trying to learn this, and in the interim, I thought we just need to switch systems. So we're looking at PHA Web, and that's actually what Taunton has, so it would be much smoother transition to do it that way. I don't have the management agreement. Again, I'd have to put that before the board for approval. But I wanted you to be aware. I feel that the program's getting away from us. We're not doing it justice, and I would like to see it done correctly, and we need the assistance.
I see no problem with it at all, Kathy. Your program is fairly small, as you said. They'll get a lot of benefits from having the larger housing authority that can keep up, send their people to training. And financially, it just makes sense. And you don't lose any control of it. It's your tenant selection.
Correct.
So same waiting list, although whatever that means today. I don't see any problem with it whatsoever. It's $55,000 to a contractor or $75,000 to an employee with all the benefits.
Right.
An inexperienced employee in all likelihood.
Yeah.
It's going to require all sorts of training.
We've done that. We've done it 3 times.
I
Put them
know.
through the training and spent the time. And it has taken time away from both my job and Dawn's job trying to train people in addition to sending them to training.
No, I saw a Nan McKay bill for $1,300
Yeah.
for a person who's no longer here.
Correct. And that person came back from the training and said, I think that person just liked to hear himself talk. All he did was talk. And I said, it's a training. That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So it's a tough program. I mean, anybody that's done it, there are so many different components of Section 8 in comparison to the state portfolio and how you go about doing that. It almost is like, in my opinion, that HUD sets you up to fail with some of this stuff. It's almost impossible to do it completely accurately all the time.
Yeah. No, it's set up for a large-scale operation. It
Yeah.
is.
Definitely.
And at one time, I don't know how long ago it was, probably 20, 25 years ago, they sent out a bunch of ACCs to everybody, and everybody got a program. If you're a medium-sized housing authority, you got a medium program, a small housing authority, you got a small program. Some people have 8 Section 8s. I don't know how you run 8 Section 8s.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I mean, 100, you know,
It is time-consuming these days.
Yes.
So many changes between the landlords and the family members and the jobs and...
Inspire's coming.
What's that?
The new inspection protocols.
Quick.
Okay.
Get Taunton in there, fast.
Oh, boy.
I have a couple of questions.
Certainly.
Would the person or persons work at the Taunton Housing Authority office or here in
No,
this office?
they would work at Taunton. All the files would go to Taunton.
Okay.
They have a
How
large
would they
staff.
go, electronically or?
No.
Courier?
My maintenance staff and myself would do that.
Okay.
And that being said, Taunton right now is going to all electronic files. They went out to bid and have somebody in there doing that. I imagine that these files would be part of that. And if we're on the same software program, we would still be able to access those files. But we really wouldn't have any need to access those files because the tenants would be dealing directly with the staff at the Taunton Housing Authority.
Well, that's a big bonus right there.
We would control the rents, we would submit the rents, they would create the file, I would take that file, review the file, we have to upload it to TD Bank, which is an e-treasury, it's an automatic deposit. It takes 2 people, myself and Dawn, to do that anyhow. It's an assurance that the funds are going and that they've been reviewed. So that we would still do.
And the other question I have is the agreement that Colleen Doherty is putting together. Is this going to be an annual automatic renewal, or what's the type of renewal on this agreement?
We haven't gotten that far yet.
Term. I
haven't
would
gotten
be
that
very
far.
interested to know what the term is on the agreement.
Typically, are they 3 years?
I just renewed one.
Yeah.
You can put in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. It usually comes back to the board. But they all have a provision, to be quite honest with you, I don't know I would have to come back to the board, that we can terminate. Either side can terminate within 90 days.
Or within 90 days of the initial?
So if we wanted to, if we said,
No, the
Kathy...
90-day notice.
Yeah.
90
Oh, 90-day notice, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
without cause. So,
Okay, no penalty, 90-day notice term.
yeah. But I haven't seen what she has. I'm sure it's common.
Yeah, it's probably the standard management agreement that they put out from the department.
Your responsibility is to go there, pull probably 8
CMAP,
files,
yeah.
8, 10 files, go through them, do your CMAP, make sure they're calculating the right way, sign off, submit that. And other than that, they'll send over, we need 4 people for vouchers or whatever.
And we also discussed, yeah, we would still be doing the CMAP, and we would pay for the inspections, which we do now anyhow. We just did our annual plan, so we're good with that. We just approved that recently.
So once every 5 years?
Yeah, and we just did ours. And we did CMAP last year, so we're not even due for CMAP this year. We do it every other.
She gets a good year to start.
Yeah.
It'll be simple.
No, I think with the dearth of good health, people who know what's happening, that you just, it's so important. And, maybe these people would have stayed if there was someone sitting next to them who had been doing the job for 10 years, who could say, this is the answer here, don't worry about it, we'll get
Right.
there. But when they're all alone,
Well, they've never been alone, and we've been there, but still, it would take myself or Dawn a little while to go, okay, wait a minute, we're going to do this, and then that, and
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
because it wasn't something we were doing every day either, so
Yep.
it was hard to train. But,
But financially, I think it makes sense. Soundness of the administration of the program, I think it makes sense. Most of the time, it's not given up because financially it doesn't make sense. Usually that's where the decision, but if your accountant says, no, this is what you're paying, you're gonna actually save money,
yeah,
it's a no-brainer.
yeah, absolutely.
Do you need us to authorize you to go into negotiations with Taunton Housing?
I would think if she just brought back a management agreement
Yeah.
for our approval.
Okay.
Do we have an idea of how many other authorities you're doing this with, in contracts with?
Taunton?
Yeah.
Right now, I know of two other. They actually run the Stoughton Housing Authority. It is their agency, if you will, and Bridgewater. They run two other agencies, and they
There's no
have,
Section 8 there.
no, but Stoughton has a fairly good-sized program, and they've run Stoughton Housing Authority for
3 years? 4 years?
easily.
They took the Section 8 program from Brockton.
They did?
Yeah, 'cause we used to run it. But
Oh, I didn't know that.
We didn't run the Stoughton Housing Authority when the Stoughton
You
got
ran,
in trouble.
oh, okay. I worked in Stoughton. That was where I started my career.
No.
I was only there 2 years. I didn't do Section 8, though, don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh, talk about what else.
That was when Sandy was there, Sandy LaCivita.
Yes.
Anyhow, I wanted the board to be aware, if she does come across with something sooner than not, if it would be okay to call just a special meeting to discuss that.
Yeah, give us a couple of days to review the
Absolutely.
management.
By the way, you always have the ability to do Zoom. You can do that right up until
Anyway, so
Oh, okay.
April.
48 hours.
Yeah,
right?
if that's easier,
That's right,
I'm
Yeah,
fine
just, I
with
mean, if
that.
you have a one-item
Yeah,
meeting and you want to do it in the middle of the day, I
okay.
can come in at any time.
Oh, good to
Do
know.
that way.
Okay, good to know.
I
Okay.
mean, we could have a couple people here.
Yeah,
You know, she's going to be retiring short, but she...
I have all sorts of
rub
time
it
on my
in,
hands.
rub it in. Okay. Jealous.
I'm just thinking too that if you negotiate, if you're talking, she's obviously got an agreement that she uses, but I'm
Yeah.
wondering if she builds in like an increase, a yearly increase of some sort. I'm just
I don't
thinking
know.
that
I'm not sure.
It kind of needs to somewhat be, so they know.
This is
kind
how
of-
the increase usually works. You get the split, and then they give the inflation factor to the admin fee, and so you get your increase that way.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know what she's doing for a split. I don't know what your admin fees are. I thought your admin fees were up around
yeah.
$100,000.
Yeah, but it's not really, as Dan explained, it's a management agreement so that we don't lose portions of the salary on this side.
You
It's
might be
not like
talking about
she's
your salary
taking,
allocation.
Right.
You're paying it, but we're just talking about where the fee comes from, the admin fee, and how do they get their escalations, because things go up, they have
Mm-hmm.
to give pay raises. But it's usually, I mean, this year, the admin fee's going way up,
yes,
so they'll get a good chunk, you will too. The admin fees can go way down too.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
That's a risk you take of managing the,
see, I look at it differently as far as salary goes. Salary is going to be, it's still less than what we'd be paying, just even salary,
Oh,
let
yeah,
alone the
it's
benefits and
definitely a big
everything.
deal. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
on their end, they're gonna probably want to factor in a little bit of
I
a,
would imagine, but
Yeah.
on the same token, I went into her and said 54,000 is what we can pay,
Yeah.
and she came back and said, 52.
no, there's
Usually don't hear
economies of
that.
scale.
Yeah.
If you
Very fair.
use some latent,
Yep.
some excess capacity within the staff, they might have a part-time person they can turn to a full-time person.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, okay. It's been a long time since I've participated in a management agreement, so.
I think it's the way to go, given the, again, the complexity of the market. You need someone who knows what they're doing.
Yes.
And you've had the experience you've had. Eventually, someone's going to really screw up and you're going to get caught on audit.
you've already gone through this 3 times.
Yeah, yeah.
Enough already, go forward. Cut yourself a break.
All right, we good with the Taunton Housing Authority's management agreement for the Section 8 program?
Also think
That's it.
That's it. Moving on, agenda item number 9, the director's report.
Just, Kathy, I'm very surprised by your software company. Very. That's just so out of, whether the person who owns it is retiring or not, that's all I can guess. That's just out of character.
I was shocked, especially being that Easton was the very first housing authority that they had. And truthfully, my whole career I've used them.
Yeah, I'm just shocked. Again, I sat there speculating why you would get an answer like that. The only thing I can think of is retirement.
I don't know.
But you would want to sell your customers, but I just don't know.
I had told him just how terrible he had his transition into the new tenant portal from the old one, and none of it makes sense. There were so many errors that happened that he couldn't explain. Even today, I did a rent increase that shouldn't have affected the rental amount the tenant pays, and it doubled their rental amount. And I had to call him, and he had to go in and redo it, and he couldn't explain why that happened. Well, had I not been being so cautious, I probably would have gone in, put in the rent increase, you wouldn't really look, and sent out the notice. You wouldn't compare it to what you already had. So, it's failing terribly with the new tenant, and we switched over in September, and it hasn't been good. On top of everything else.
Well, I have our fee accountant in Brockton who's been around forever, and he has, I think, 27, 28 clients. Loves PHA Web.
Everybody I talk to loves it.
Web, I love it.
Do you? Yeah.
Every single person I've talked to, and they say it's easy.
It is.
Yeah,
Slide right into that, and if it talks to Taunton,
yeah.
it's a win-win.
Well, the other thing is too, Taunton just recently switched to, so they're still familiar with net, so they could still, I can just
So
give
they
them
have net
login
also.
access. Yeah, they did, yep.
Yeah. And they've been with PHA Net longer than, they were with PHA Net before they were PHA Net.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I thought Easton was the first.
I always thought
Easton
Easton was the
developed the
first.
program with them.
Yeah,
There was, actually Brockton developed the program, Peak Performance, with the owner, Bobby Hill. And then we split, we sold Peak Performance to PHA Web, Scott Gleason.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's the, okay. I used to work with Nick when I was in Needham with Chaz. When
Oh,
it
yeah,
used to be
yeah.
Chaz.
Yep. So we were with Chaz for a little while, and we
Yeah.
sold it because they couldn't get Peak Performance. But then, again, the gentleman who owns this company has been around forever.
Yes.
He was with Taunton first. It was Taunton, Newton, there was a third one, I can't think of who, in Brockton. And now, for that to happen, and we had PHA Net in Hanson, correct? And in Abington.
Correct.
And they were wonderful to deal with for the
Yeah.
short time I was there, but I'm so surprised.
I never had a problem.
Yeah,
It's when we did the conversion.
yeah.
All right, any other discussion regarding the director's report?
And if I remember right, your rents are up $10,000 from the beginning of the year. That's, I think you were about 81,000, you're up to 91,000.
Yeah, we'd run around 81, 82. Yeah.
And there's 10 pages.
I know. Could you imagine if we could fill the units?
By this time next year, you're gonna have all those social security rates.
I've heard nothing of Eisenhower. Is that going well?
Very well.
That's
Not a
beautiful.
problem.
That's
Great
wonderful.
resident. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, especially because the neighbors were so unnerved about
yeah.
that, and it's great.
That's wonderful.
Probably the only tenant that sent us a Christmas card with her and her kids and the dog.
Well, wonderful.
You know, when you get the picture ones, we get Christmas cards, but the actual,
Yeah.
here we are, thank you so much. So,
Well, that's
yeah,
what the program's supposed to
yeah,
Makes
you're right.
it all
Those are the good
worthwhile.
ones. That's the ones you go home and go, that was great.
That is
Yeah,
good.
yeah, absolutely.
That was a good find.
Yeah. Like the tenant, too.
All right. Agenda item number 10, questions and concerns. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Barbara Ham. I live at 71 Parker Terrace. I just have some questions because I'm here a year, but I haven't really been to these. I didn't even know they were happening. My first question is the rubbish. Why don't they recycle here? The whole town of Easton recycles except us. That's a really bad thing to have all that plastic and everything. It's not a good thing. We're trying to eliminate that statewide. Easton's doing a great job, but we're not doing it at all.
I agree. I don't disagree with you at all.
The commercial,
What can we do about it?
the commercial trash providers won't do recycle with us. We looked into that quite a few years back. The commercial, the big companies that come in, they won't do that with us. I don't know the reasoning for it.
The town doesn't pick you up.
No, we have to pay for a commercial trash company. The town doesn't do ours.
Fairhaven does have, we have our own trash hauler, but the town does do recycling for us.
What is the name of the rubbish dealers?
Republic,
Republic.
it's just known as
I think it's
Republic
Republic Services.
Services, yeah.
And where are they located?
I believe New Bedford.
The other thing is, there was a notice sent out by Easton Water that there was a problem with the water. A lot of people, especially like myself, have problems if I get sick from the water. So I buy water at the store, but it's a little disheartening to know that water is included in my house, but I can't drink it. I have to buy bottled water. And there's a lot of people here like me. Do you do anything to make sure that the water is safe to come in here?
That's the town. We don't have any control over the water. The water department is run by the town. And that,
And that's not just here, that's town-wide.
I understand.
And they are looking to fix it. They are going to put in a treatment plant.
They're working on it. It's up on,
They're working on it now.
on
Yep.
Route 123. Can't think of the name of
It's been 2
it.
or 3 years now since I
And
know.
that, it's going to take a
Like
while.
$12 million project for the town.
Big money.
This is not just Easton. They lowered the rating for parts per billion that this forever chemical that's in there. It's plastic. Plastic's in the water. So you've always had it there. They just lowered the acceptable level. So every town that I know of in the Commonwealth is dealing with this. And I think Easton is one of the only towns that I've seen that's putting a substantial effort into addressing it.
They, if I could speak, I was at a Board of Selectmen meeting at the town hall. Let's see, I've been here 2 years. I would say probably 5 or 6 years ago, when the town of Easton was being proactive about water. They knew that they needed to get a new water treatment plant, water treatment system. And gosh, it seems to me, and the meeting that I was at was the engineering study. You know, there's certain steps just like we have. And it seems to me that at that time, 5, 6, 7 years ago, when they were in the engineering study, it was something like 12 or 13 million for that project. But the town has been working on that quietly in the background, and every once in a while I'll check. And I wish I could remember the name of this street. It's a place, if you go 123 and you turn left at the entrance to Target, and it's up on the right just before you cross into Norton. There's an area, that's where the new wastewater treatment plant is that they're working on. And the last time I checked on it, they were putting in the electrical. So the town is working on it.
Red Mill Drive?
Thank you. Yes.
oh, that's where it
Red
is?
Mill Drive, yes. So the town has been working on a new water treatment plant on Red Mill Drive for a number of years.
But it is very disturbing. I mean, it is, we have, it's coming from the fire retardants in our couches and our curtains and our clothes and that, and so it's a thing that society's going to have to deal with.
So the town has no control, for instance, you hiring that rubbish collection agency. You're hiring it according to budget, etc. The town has no, they can't interfere with that. In other words, they can't say, no, you can't have them because they don't recycle.
No, not to my knowledge.
Okay, and the water is the same. We do what we can with what we have.
The town does offer filtered water that you could go and get.
I know. Okay. And the last thing is communication. We get a paper and they work very hard at sending us information about what's going on. But just an example, we had a large Thanksgiving dinner prepared here. 7 people showed up out of the park because nobody knew about it. Most people get this flyer, put it on the table, and don't read it. It's not what we had. There must be some way, like for a big event like that, that's going to be costly if it fails. Why can't they have somebody go on the phone like Dan does for emergencies, etc.? You know,
A robocall. Yeah.
do a robocall on
We're
that.
doing that actually. We are, just to get people to show up to some of the activities the resident service coordinator is doing, and it has worked. It's helped.
We do that, but they have not asked us.
Do that, have a robocall. It's not for everything, you know, but when something like that was very costly because nobody showed up to the dinner when they had all the food there. You know, I really think they need a robocall for things that are more important than everyday activities. And
Sometimes you can't make them come though.
Right, I do know they
No matter
went,
what you do.
the resident service,
you know how many people I spoke to that didn't even know about it?
I know.
You know? And that's the end of my purpose.
And you
Three
said
very
how
good
long have you
questions.
lived here? A year?
A year. Yeah.
Nice that you came to the meeting.
Yes, I'm very happy that I didn't know about it until she mentioned it this morning. Yeah.
Wow, and you got all your notes together and everything.
I can't be involved. I used to be in a park that I was very involved, but I can't do that anymore because I'm old, you know. And I just wanted to
Would have fooled me.
keep up with what's going on. Because you ask somebody, why is this happening this day? I don't know.
But you know what could cause that, all of this, is the boards. All where you post the activities,
we don't do that, that's the resident service coordinator and all her people.
but I mean, I saw Derek going around.
That was for the alarms that went off the other day.
But he didn't put them in a place where somebody could see them.
No, he put them by the boards, because what was happening is people heard the noise and were looking at the board, so he thought if we put it on the board, it would let people know.
But my reasoning is that the stuff that is on the boards is outdated. Nobody is taking down the old stuff.
It's a very poor way of communicating.
When their providers go around to post, they're supposed to be taking down the old notices. I can address that with them. Because those are all, that's all the resident service coordinator notices.
In the back room, they're calling residents, but when you get the phone call, it doesn't, it's a that it's coming from Mansfield or California, because
They're using their cell phones.
phones, so it doesn't say. So they think it's a prank call.
Well, they do go and put notices on everybody's door, don't they?
No.
Yeah,
They were, weren't they?
I get the calendar taped on my door. every
Yeah.
month.
You get the calendar, but you can't, they don't, I mean, it's very small. It doesn't specifically say in big, large numbers so people could see it.
I thought that they were doing that. I will bring that to their attention because my understanding is that they do the notices and their providers that come in are supposed to be going around and putting them on the doors when they have events. I can address that. As a matter of fact, I have a MAP meeting tomorrow with the supervisor and I will bring that to their attention.
Just an
It's all, they're all outdated stuff.
Okay.
Just an interesting example. I was sitting in my house listening to the fire alarm go off, just a beep, every single minute for 2 hours. Near the end of that time, I called the fire department, not the emergency number. I said to her, there's no fire, I'm not on the floor, everything's fine, but I'm hearing this alarm. Could you tell me what to do? She said, you have to call the emergency number. I said, to get one man in a truck over here to check and see what that is? They said, that's the way it is. I said, so I didn't bother.
You could have called us. Now
As
that,
soon as I hung up
Yep.
the phone, it stopped. A half hour later, I got a robocall from Dan. All the alarms are being tested.
I can tell you what happened with that. They never told us they were going to be doing
That's what he
testing.
said. Yeah, I understand.
They came in and thought when they ran the board that it was only going to be going off in the common areas and that they didn't need to tell us. What they didn't realize is our residents are going to hear that. Believe me, we had words with them, and then they weren't sure if the board was still going to alarm, so that's when we issued the robocall and we went around with the notices. But the contractor was at fault there. They never notified us. Had they notified us, we would have notified everybody, believe me, because the phones were ringing off the hook.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. Well, maybe they learned something, maybe they didn't.
I don't know.
But thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or concerns? I would like to make note that it is 2023, and in this coming year, we will have one vacant seat on this board. So it is an open meeting. We're not going to talk too much about that, but if you know anybody that is interested in being on this board, I would encourage them to take out their papers. There's always, it's good. It's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to give back to the community and, so there is one seat becoming available this year. So,
I don't know who you're talking about.
whether we have an incumbent run for it or not, we'll see, but I would encourage others to if they were interested in participating.
I'm sorry. I was going to ask you if you could give me the names of the people on the board. Because I'm blind, so I can't really see that well. But I do need the names and remembering.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Dennis Sheedy,
S-A-D-E-Y.
D-Y. Chrisanne Sheedy with a K, K-R-I-S-A-N-N-E.
Chris is fun. You know, it's so formal.
His sister, right?
Yeah.
Daughter,
Oh, thank you.
you better stay on the board.
Tom Tebow.
Do you know the budget exemption thing?
It's right here. Would you pass that?
Thank you.
Tom Tebow. Yeah.
Tom's over here.
Yeah.
Don Burrows. He's to my right here.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, well known, And then
Great dancer.
great dancer. Oh, word's out now.
All right.
The whole town now knows now, Don.
God.
That's cool.
And Pam Widow.
Pam is my neighbor.
And Kathy Steig is the executive director.
Thank you very much.
All righty. Any other questions, concerns, comments? No? We good? Next meeting. Sorry to say, it looks like February 14th.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I think it was the 14th last year, too.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Harry, who's killing the Hilliards and getting the chocolate?
I'm more concerned about the wine, but okay.
Oh, we can't have wine on that.
So Cupid, draw back your bow and we'll see you on the 14th. I'll entertain a motion to... That was pretty good, come on. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tebow, a second by Commissioner Chris Sansheedy. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None.